Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gassy Jack Gear Reviews. Thanks for tuning in. Today I have a quick review for you. It's not going to be a full in-depth review. I will do a full in-depth review on this watch because it does warrant it. But it's a Saturday and I'm doing a lot of videos today, just shorter ones. Wristwatch check. I got a Hamilton Day Date Autopilot, otherwise known as the Interstellar. It's got that day on the top, date on the bottom. Love this watch. You'll see a review on that as well. But right now, I have a Seiko. They call this the Seiko from the Brights line. This watch is no longer available. You can, I think, still find it on eBay. If you find it on eBay, buy it. This thing, let me make sure this is spotless. This thing is unbelievable value. I don't know. Like I kind of feel like they may have discontinued this watch because it could cannibalize several more expensive watches in their line. That's how good this thing is. It's got a 6R15 movement, which isn't high end, but it's certainly not a slow poke. You can see the exhibition case back there. This is the same movement that's in the Seiko Sumo, that's in the Seiko Alpinist. I think it's a great movement. I really like this movement anyway. Let me see if we can get a better view of this. There you go. It's a better view. This watch, let's get back to it. The dial on this watch is spectacular. There's no other way to describe it. It is absolutely spectacular. This needs to be seen in natural sunlight. So do a search for this watch and you'll see there's a few guys that have natural sunlight and it just is unbelievable. It's one of the nicest dials that I've ever seen in any watch ever. It's spectacular. If you see this watch, the metal almost looks like it could be titanium, but it's not. It's stainless steel. It's a weighty watch. I don't know if it has something called a DiaShield, and I don't know if it's the DiaShield coating. It's a scratch resistant coating. I don't know if that's what gives it this slightly darker color, but it's stunning. And look at that. So it's polished on the ends, then brushed outer links, and then the outer sides of the inner links are polished. It's exquisite. Oh, look at that. It's obviously solid end links. Milled clasp. No adjustments. It doesn't have any adjustments. That's the only downfall of the bracelet. It fits well on me, luckily, because but I could use an adjustment, I'll be honest. I could use an adjustment on this because with skinny wrists with no fat on them, you can use like every millimeter counts. So it could use an adjustment. So I'm not gonna lie, that is the bracelet's downfall. If you don't have wrists like mine that are zero fat on them, if you have some meat on your wrist, you don't have to worry about that at all. And it's not a deal breaker for me because it does fit fairly well. But it's so beautiful, my God. So it doesn't have a screw down crown. It's a dressier watch, so it's not meant to be worn in the water. I happen to be of the opinion that I would love all of my watches. I don't care if they're dress watch or not to have a screw down crown. But it's not sort of typical. And it has that sort of black, it's supposed to be looking like an onyx. I really doubt that it is. I think it's probably just plexi of some sort on the end of that crown, which is a nice little touch. But I can't say enough about the looks of this thing. The DiaShield, let me put that back on. So a lot of people will compare this watch to the SARB 33. The nomenclature for this watch is the SDGM00. Is it 001 or 003? I think it's 001. So a lot of people will compare this to the SARB 003. The SARB 003 is a fantastic watch for the money. There's no doubt about it, and I think it's one of the reasons why it's so popular. This is much dressier, though. A friend of mine has the SARB 033, so what I might do is grab that off of her and maybe do a comparison. The SARB 033 is, I believe it's 39 millimeters, and this I believe is 41 millimeters. So it's on the bigger side for a dress watch. But you saw my wrist; it didn't look out of place. Might as well do this for the rest, because I know how frustrating it is when you see a wristwatch review and then they never actually put on the wrist. So I'll just do that. There you go. So I should do a comparison video. I should grab that watch off of her, the SARB 033, do a comparison, because I don't think I've seen a comparison video on the two watches. The biggest difference, they actually have the same movement. So I mean, the SARB, you get a lot of movement for that money. This bracelet is just so far superior. It's far dressier, so you have more to risk as far as scratching it and stuff like that goes. But it's way, way higher end. Like I said, bang for buck, this thing's unbelievable. I think now, I mean, they're expensive now. I don't know American, but I know on eBay in Canadian dollars, I think they're going for about $1,200 now. And I think they're worth that. They're absolutely worth that. The movement is decent, and when I say decent, I mean I think it's absolutely up there with lower end ETAs. I think it competes in that arena, no problem. It has a sapphire crystal. The dial, like I said, I don't have to say any more. The hands on this thing, they're like blades. They're like razor blades, okay? And those indices, those long indices. This video, I'm telling you right now, is not doing this thing any justice. You got to get it in daylight. Maybe I'll just grab my phone in daylight one day and just take a quick video of this one. But like I said, best comparison would be, well, I shouldn't say best comparison, because you could compare this. Honestly, you could go down in dollar wise and compare it to the SARB 33. You could also compare this to, what is the lineup now in the Presage lineup? The SARY0, is it the 055, the black one? I forget. But there's a lineup anyway in that series, in the Presage lineup now, that you could compare it to, that has the very glossy black dial, but it's just black. It doesn't have any texture to it. And then there's this. So I think that Seiko in their, besides their Grand Seikos, I think they have, good three watches that can compare in that sort of arena. And then you have the Grand Seikos, which are far above this as far as the movement goes. And I know it's blasphemy to say that this bracelet would compare with a Grand Seiko bracelet, but if you were to just look at them, if I was just go, hey, look at this, and then bring in another one from out of the camera and take this one away, you'd be like, yeah, that other one was pretty cool too, like this one. But if you got them side by side and in real life with the Grand Seiko, you'd be like, yeah, I can see where they spent their money on the Grand Seiko. I mean, the polishing and brushing on Grand Seikos, I don't know if anyone else in the watch industry actually does it better than them. And then you look at some of their movements. Like, I mean, if you take a look at, if I was going to get a Grand Seiko, I'd go for what I think is probably going to be a classic for them, is the Snowflake with the spring drive. I think that spring drive, some purists would scoff at it because it does have some electronics in it, but it's not run by a battery. And I don't know exactly, I'm not an engineer, I don't know exactly how they get that charge out of it without, obviously it's with the movement that gets the charge to run the electronic system in it. But I would definitely go for the Snowflake if I had $7,500 burning a hole in my pocket and I'd gotten some more classics out of the way. I would definitely consider it. I know some people wouldn't spend that much money on it, but who knows? Maybe I can wait for a price drop and get a used one. Anyway, if you do want to see any other of my watches compared against this, you just let me know in the comments section. If you have any other comments you would like to leave or questions, leave those there too. And I take this off to conclude the video. This has been a Gassy Jack gear review, short review. Like I said, if you like the video, please click like. Please subscribe to the channel, and that way you won't miss out on any views. You get a feed on them. And I will talk to you soon. Take care, guys.